I'm live today at Toledo Memorial Park, and what you're looking at is the Veterans Monument. If you've ever been to Toledo Memorial Park in Sylvania, this really is one of the outstanding pieces of architecture, statuary inside the park, and it may even be the oldest. I'm with Jeff Clegg, who runs Toledo Memorial Park. And Jeff, when was this put up? Do you know offhand?
Well, we were founded in 1922, and they started construction on that shortly after, and I think it was finished around 1928.
So right after World War I, and then can I assume then that the battles, I noticed Marne, the name Marne up there, and I remember that battle from my history class. Are all the battles mentioned on this particular monument from World War I then?
Yes, at the base, they're all engraved with the major battles of World War I.
Now I know you did some restoration on this just a couple of years ago. Does that explain the marble slates at the bottom of the monument now?
Right, during the renovation we added all of those niche banks for veterans to be interred in for cremation.
So when a veteran passes away, if he's cremated, he can be buried right there in the base of the Veterans Monument?
Right, and you become part of the tower.
That's pretty cool. Now the cemetery, of course, was started, as Jeff said, just after World War I. It was started as a not-for-profit cemetery for the city of Sylvania. If you've ever been out here, you know in the last couple of years they've done some, I don't even want to call them improvements because the park is just so beautiful on its own, but you've done some things to kind of commemorate not just first responders, but veterans also. And one of them we're coming up on right now. This star that you dedicated, was it last year or 2 years ago already?
It was last year, November.
Last year. And what are the names on this particular star that's right across from the Veterans Tower?
Well, as you can see, engraved on there, on that star, there's 323 names of veterans of World War I that never returned. And we don't know if it was an Eagle Scout project or something, but they planted a tree in those soldiers' names all around the park, and that's why Toledo Memorial Park is so beautiful.
It really
because a tree was planted back in the early 20s to honor those soldiers.
So those are all the names of the soldiers who never returned to the United States and here to Lucas County and Sylvania and the Toledo area, but had a tree planted in their name somewhere in the park.
Right.
And as you look around the park, as I just kind of scan around the park, you'll see it really is. It's so much more than a cemetery. It really is just a beautiful place to come and relax. And they invite you, in fact, to come out and drive through, come out and have lunch, come out and just sit and meditate. There's some beautiful bench areas out here. We're also going to take a look at one other area this morning, and that is the new first responder area that they have set up on the other side of the park. What you're seeing in the distance, and we're going to take a few steps to get a little bit closer to it, is a part of the World Trade Center. They put this memorial up probably a couple of years ago now. It's been at least 2 years, 2016.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit closer to it. And while we do that, explain what we're looking at.
Well, that's a reclaimed beam from the World Trade Center.
Okay.
And then we placed it on a memorial that's specifically for our first responders.
What is the connection with Toledo Memorial Park and the first responders? Because I know you have a special area set aside for first responders if they want to use it, and you've got a couple of memorials here which we're getting a little bit closer to. What's the connection?
Well, we've always focused on veterans here, and then we thought, why not have something for the people that take care of us day to day here and put their lives on the line every day and give them a special place.
This is really a nice quiet part of the park also. It's north end of the park and kind of to the east a little bit, but it's really a beautiful area. Let's get a little bit closer and talk about the bell that was cast here a couple of summers ago. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, at the end of a veteran funeral or a first responder funeral,
right,
there's the ringing of the bell. So we thought, what better place to have a bell is right here at our memorial. They usually bring a bell with them, and it's usually a little small bell, the portable bell, and it doesn't sound very good. So
no, this one really rings out. It was cast actually right here at Toledo Memorial Park in a really great ceremony that was held, was it 2 summers ago now, or last summer?
2 summers ago.
You've done so much out here at the park in the last couple of years. It's hard to keep track of all the many improvements that have happened out here. If you need information on the park, you can go to ToledoMemorialPark.com. You're always welcome to stop at the main office. They have funeral advocates on site that'll answer all your questions about services and prices at local funeral homes and crematoria and all the like. And get that stuff done before you actually need it, because then it's really tough to make those decisions when you're under pressure. This way you can get a lot of those questions answered ahead of time. This is really a beautiful part of the park out here too. Lots of trees, as we talked about before. There are many places where you can just sit and relax and just take in the beauty of the park, and they invite you to do that on a regular basis. There's a couple of small lakes out here and some very quiet areas where there are benches, and I think you can come out here and have lunch if you want, can't you?
That's why we call it the park.
So, and it is. It's just an absolutely beautiful park. How many acres is this?
380.
380. And it's right in Sylvania, right across from the Kroger at Haroon and Alexis, or Monroe. I don't.
Monroe Street.
Yeah, you call it Monroe. I call it Alexis. Everybody calls it something different. You know where it is. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Appreciate the mini tour.
Coming out.